Hello, welcome back to another episode of Decide to Heal. I am your host, Alejandra Crisafulli, and I am here with the most beautiful Elsa Martin. And she and I met, gosh, has it been a couple of years now? It has, hasn't it?
Yes. Well,
But Elsa is a functional nutritionist. She's also helps women with their body through training. Do you do some form of training as well with them? Okay,
yeah, yeah, we focus
beautiful.
on nutrition when they're training and balancing their hormones.
Which we all need as women, especially aging women. And you've been helping women for over a decade really design a life they love through these aspects in which you support them with. So I'm excited to kind of dive into this conversation with you because it is something that, like, I'm 48 and it's definitely something that is a point of conversation a lot. All of it. Hormones, especially hormones, like girlfriends, even clients seem to talk about it too, because it's a big thing. So I'd love to jump into all of that and what it is that you really stand for. So can we just kind of start with what even got you into this?
Yeah, I'm happy to share. First off, thank you for allowing me to be here today, Alejandra. This is an honor. I love the connection that we have and that you are focused on getting to the root cause for people spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and I'm at all about getting to the root cause of them physically. So I just feel like it's such a great fit for us.
Hand in hand. Yeah, because hand in hand for sure.
So I'm a firm believer that God will use your journey to lead you to your destiny if you let Him.
Mm,
My health turnaround sort of started at the age of 40. And what happened with me was I started to get chronic pain. I noticed it when in the mornings when I would wake up, I would step out of bed and I'd have shooting pain up in my feet. And then it would go into my elbows or my shoulders. And like sometimes I would literally just cry out in pain. There was
mm,
nothing that I could do that would help it. I could take any kind of painkillers, wouldn't even touch it. It was
mm.
just crazy. I had no idea what was happening to me. And so many trips to the doctor trying to figure out what is going on. And they just kept saying, well, your blood work is fine. There's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. And I kept thinking to myself, I'm not fine. Like, what is going on? And you start to think, maybe this is just in my head, but yet I
Yeah.
could feel it physically. So I knew it wasn't just in my head. And, so finally, one doctor diagnosed me with rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune disease that causes severe joint pain. And when she told me that, I was like, "What? Like, isn't that just something old people get?" But no, apparently not. I was
No.
only 40 at the time. And, they told me for the rest of my life, I was gonna need to be on really strong painkillers and strong anti-inflammatories. Well, that was shocking to me and not something
Mm,
that I wanted to do, but, by this time, I was in excruciating pain almost every day, and I was
mm,
literally becoming a cripple. My
mm.
hands were so crippled up, I couldn't even open and close my hands anymore.
Wow.
And now I joke about it that there's a lot of things you do with your hands that you don't want someone else to have to do for you.
Also, that's funny. Sorry, I just kind of
Yeah,
picturing different things. Yes.
but it's true though,
True.
right?
Yeah.
Um Um, so but unfortunately, about this same time that I was going through all of that, my brother was diagnosed with cancer. And there
Mm.
was not even cancer in our family. I didn't even know of anyone in my family that ever even had cancer. But 6 short weeks after he was diagnosed, he passed away.
Mm.
And then my sister-in-law and an aunt as well. And so
Wow, so
I was dealing with my own health issues, and now cancer was ripping through my family, and the
yeah,
doctors were pressuring me to take these medications with all these crazy side effects like
yeah.
blood clots, heart disease, kidney disease, like, and more. And that's just when I decided, you know what? I'm not going to settle here. I was going to go on a trek to find the root cause of the disease that I had. And I was determined to heal and to stop the cycle of disease in my own family and also in anyone else that I could help.
So
So,
powerful.
so
Yeah.
through much prayer, believe me, just seeking the Lord day and day and day,
Yeah.
asking for his wisdom and guidance on this and doing lots of research. I found a functional practitioner, very much like what I now do. And she suggested that I try going off anti-inflammatory foods, and we did some testing to see what was going on in my body. So I was ready to do anything. I was in so much
Right.
pain, and so I tried it. 2 weeks. I'm
No
serious.
way.
Within
No
2
way.
weeks, I was almost completely better.
Are you struggling with self doubt, second guessing your every move, no matter how much success that you achieve? Because just deep down, nothing you have done to heal has ever felt like enough. Do you want to quit that cycle and get coached live on Decide to Heal? Because in 45 minutes or less, I can help you identify the root cause of the problem you are dealing with and give you not just practical, but long-term changes that you can implement as soon as we're done. This is completely free of charge, and all you have to do is fill out the application in the description below.
Um,
Elsa,
I say that was my aha moment in life. Like, I was like, that's the power of the food I was eating. In just 2
wow.
weeks, I was almost completely better. I was shocked. And,
Wow.
I've come to realize since then that the food we eat can either fight disease or it can feed it, and we each get to choose. So at that point, I mean, for most of my adult life, I had been carrying around 30 plus pounds. I'd been, exhausted and in pain, and I basically hated the way I looked and felt for many years. But once I chose to fuel my body with what it actually needed and stop eating the food that was feeding the disease, suddenly the weight just started to fall off and I had energy. I felt amazing. And all because I was healing the root cause and getting my body into balance. It was amazing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. What a story. Wow.
And, people were asking me then at that point saying, "You look amazing. Well, your skin's glowing. You're losing weight. What are you doing? Tell me how to do this." And, "Well, I have this problem. What do you think I should do?" And so at that point, I was like, I need to get certified to
Yeah.
actually make sure I'm telling them the right information. Right. So I became a certified weight loss practitioner at that time. And then now also a functional nutritionist specializing in women's hormones.
Wow. Amazing. I find it so fascinating as most of how things work that our life stories and mainly the challenges, the struggles that end up leading to what God has actually designed us to do and how we can help others and are meant to help others. And it comes through our own journeys and yes, through pain and hardship. And that's the gift in it. When people talk about like, "Oh, there's a gift in this thing that you're going through," and while you're going through it, it's like, don't even tell like, "This is so hard. How is there a gift in this?" But I find that everyone's story has the gift that leads them towards God's design and purpose for them in life that will always impact not only their own life and healing, but others' life and healing.
Yes, exactly. If we allow it, right? We
Right.
need
If we
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to heal and heal physically, but also mentally and emotionally, and then allow God to use that and what we've been through. If we're too afraid to share our story or too afraid to reach out and do the work to be able to help other people, then we don't get to have that opportunity. But I mean, honestly, now I look back, of course, when I was in it, like you're saying, it was horrible. Like I had a young family. I was dealing with all kinds of awful things.
Yeah.
But now I look back and I really can honestly say I am so thankful for the journey I went through
Yeah.
because now for over a decade, yeah, like you said, I've been helping women heal their bodies and bounce their hormones and love how they look and design a life they love. Because I went through it, I can help them find that healing as well.
Yes. I want every woman to hear what you just said, that and male too, but obviously a lot of the demographic here in Decide to Heal is female. The root cause of things and finding that root cause because the answer was medication. And then medication that, we trust doctors, we trust that we don't know what's going on. So it's like, oh, okay, you're telling me I need to do this, then sure, I'm going to do that. And there's a few of us that like the rebellious ones maybe that are like, "No, I am not doing that." But just to hear that that is not the answer always. Sometimes, okay, you might need to, but you don't live there with the medication. There's always another solution. So, can you talk about that for us and the difference between especially around what it is that you do and what you've seen medication do in the body versus how the healing happens in through, like, the natural foods that we're eating. Can you just kinda talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. And like you mentioned, it's not that I'm not against medication. If someone
Yeah,
needs medication, they need
yeah,
medication. That was just not the route that I chose to go. And I was fortunate that I was able to take the time, and I know that the Lord led me in the
yeah,
pathway that I went. So I'm very thankful for that. But it's we're just so conditioned, I believe, to just trust that when a doctor tells us that this is the only thing we can do, or that our numbers are normal, we're in the normal range. But we need to listen to our own bodies. You know your body better than anyone does. And if something is off, you most likely know it, no matter whether they say you're in the normal range or not. And
mhm,
those medications that so often many doctors are very quick to prescribe are have so many side effects. Like I said, the pages and pages of side effects of the medication they wanted me to take, I literally was like, I can't purposely put that into my body knowing that it could cause these things. And so I encourage women to, do your research and really think about what's important to you. Which way do you wanna go with this? Because really, it's actually very simple. I mean, after, like I said, over a decade of helping women heal their bodies, I just continually am amazed how we are created and how the body wants to heal if we give it what it needs, if we bring it into balance. And so that's why I specialize in women's hormones, specifically women over 40, is because when we go through that stage of life, so much changes. And
yeah.
it's almost like we're living in a whole different body, right? And what we
Oh,
did in our
totally.
20s, well, it's like almost like foreign to us. So what we did in our 20s doesn't work in our 40s, right? And so it- navigating that journey, and just really what I do, it's a simple test that they do at home. It's very comprehensive, and it's like pulling back the curtain to see
Mm,
exactly what's going on inside their body. And then there's simple things, simple lifestyle things, maybe a supplement here or there, simple things that we can do to actually bring their bodies into balance. And it's amazing how the body responds when it receives what it needs to heal.
yes. Oh my goodness. Okay, so 2 things come up. Number 1 is you were talking about, like, the natural balance that the body is in and working with the hormones. Um, I feel like there's so much out there now about hormones, and we like to go to Doctor Google, or now there's Doctor ChatGPT, and then, I was literally having a conversation with a girlfriend last night, and she's like, "Oh, I'm on hormone therapy treatments," and she's talking about hers, and I'm like, "Well, okay." And, yeah, but I'm on testosterone too, and it just seems like it's so, what's the word? Like, normal now, but I also feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding or misrepresentation of what it really is when we're just trying to self-diagnose and not really getting the actual professional support of what our body actually needs versus like, "Oh, I should just go get some testosterone because I'm, low on energy," or something of that nature, or yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you share about this too? Because I think that's part of the challenge now that there's so much out there we will just self-diagnose.
Exactly. It's almost like the pendulum has swung for so many years. They wasn't talked about women's menopause and perimenopause and all of that. And almost like it's really swung now where it's everywhere. And the concern with that is, like you said, self-diagnosing. I had a client that came to me. When she came to me, she was exhausted. She literally didn't want to get out of bed. She had a teenagers. And in fact, she was so low and down that she was considering that she shouldn't even be in the world anymore, and that
Yeah.
everybody would be better off without her. It was very sad. So when she came to me mostly for weight loss, but then as she shared this with me, and so I did the comprehensive hormone testing on her, her estrogen was through the roof. Now, this is a woman that's over 40. Normally, estrogen is dramatically dropped by the time we're that age. her estrogen was very high, and that's what was causing her all kinds of symptoms like aches and fatigue and this like deep dark depression because it
Mm.
was actually her doctor that gave her this, and she was severely over medicated with it. And
Oh
so it's
gosh.
just so important to do the testing to see what you actually need, because we can do so much harm to ourselves if we put something in it, especially when we're talking hormones, because hormones affect everything in the
Yes.
body and in our minds. So we need to be so careful and make sure we're actually testing to see what's off, and then add back in what you actually need if you need something.
Mm. So true. Right. So testing first instead of just like, "Oh, I think I should take this because that's now what you're supposed to do."
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It's you
Okay.
it's dangerous to be honest, to be able to or it's dangerous to be honest, to be taking things that you're not sure if you actually need them or not. Because to just guess, I always say test, don't guess. Because to
Yeah.
just guess is like you could be just throwing fuel in the fire and making things much worse for yourself.
Oh my goodness, so true. Okay, you mentioned something really important, which I loved what you said, and I'm very into distinctions, which is fight or feed. It had to do something, right? Like either you're gonna have food that fights against you, is that what you were talking about? Or you're gonna feed something really great, healthy within you. So can you speak about that?
Mhm. I always say that every food that we eat either fights disease, so we can be eating whole, real food that's actually gonna fight off disease and give our body that fighting power to fight off any disease, or we can be fueling disease, like putting fuel on the fire of disease. Because when we are eating inflammatory foods, that's just like putting fuel on a fire, stirring up that inflammation in our body. Inflammation leads to disease. So I just think it's a really good thing to think about every time we eat. Uh, is this going to fuel disease and make me more sick, or is it actually going to fight off the disease so that I don't get that?
Okay. Now what are some of these foods that fight or feed?
Okay. So foods that feed disease and make it worse are inflammatory foods like wheat, sugar, most dairy. Those kind of things are very inflammatory to our bodies. So when we put that in, it just stirs up more inflammation into our bodies. When our bodies has to fight off inflammation, then it can't fight to be healing and to releasing toxins. So that inflammatory food just stirs up the inflammation and makes it worse. Whereas
Mhm.
for real foods that are gonna, fight disease are things like your protein, like your meat, your fish, your chicken, healthy fats, nuts, avocado, seeds, and then fiber, veggies. So I always like to say a plate should look like you should have about a hand size of protein. I like to keep it simple. In my program, we keep it really simple. We don't
That's good.
weigh, count, or any of that kind of stuff. It's just keep it simple so that it lasts for a lifetime because if you're
Yeah.
constantly focusing on food, that's not gonna last, right? So, I like to just keep it simple. I say about a hand size of protein every meal, as well as a thumb size of healthy fats, and then half your plate in veggies. So you're gonna get your protein, your fat, and your fiber. That is just like golden. It's golden for fighting disease, for giving you energy, for shedding the weight, for just helping you to feel amazing, and also to help balance your hormones.
Love, love, love that. Okay, let's go to sugar because everybody loves sugar. So, what about, like, how does sugar affect and this is I'm asking a personal question here because I love sugar, yet I have an autoimmune disease that I was recently just diagnosed with, as I was sharing with you, in one of our previous conversations, and I've eliminated sugar throughout my life in the last, 8 years or so. But now they make so many yummy goody things without refined sugar, but there's still sugars like dates. Like date sugar is such a big thing now and like or syrup or some kind of honey that's in these other or the stevias, things like that. So can you speak to these quote unquote healthy sugars?
Yeah, absolutely. I love to talk about
Are
it.
they really healthy or not?
So what sugar does, sugar is inflammatory, but it also is very harmful to our gut. It can really disturb the microbiome in our gut. Basically, it just means that it can throw our gut off so it's not working properly. Our digestion doesn't work properly. So sugar is very bad for us in a lot of ways, not just inflammation, but also in what it does to our guts. Now, the other forms, that's the processed sugar. So what you're talking about is dates, honey, maple syrup, agave, stevia, that kind
Yeah.
of thing, monk fruit. I love those kind of sugars because you get the sweetness of it, but it doesn't have the detrimental effects that
Okay, good.
processed sugar has. So, so I'm a huge fan of those. When I give the people that come into my program, I give them a new meal plan every week, and there's always included something like that because we crave sugar, right? We
Oh,
crave,
yeah.
and so this is a great way to get off of processed sugar is by replacing it with something that's much better for you. And one of my favorite ones is monk fruit. And the reason that is because monk fruit it doesn't have any nutrients in it, so nothing good for us, but it doesn't have anything bad. So it's not going to spike your blood sugars, which is excellent. When we have things like honey and agave and maple syrup, that kind of thing, it's still going to spike your blood sugar somewhat, but the fiber, especially in dates, the fiber in that helps bring that down and helps your body process it. So it's way, way better for you than a processed sugar. And you're still getting the sweetness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you're
Love
not,
date.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
me
Love
too.
dates, love date sugar, all that.
Yeah. It's so good. I love
Agave,
it too.
honey, yes, yes. Okay, good. That's good to know because 'cause I've often wondered of like, well, I feel like I'm cheating, so to speak, and still having sugar because this tastes really good, but I do feel like a lot of because of the education we've gotten and, there's so many product lines out there now, like, the siete stuff too. So cassava flour and all of that too. Are these kinds of things part of being healthy in the body or feeding what's good within the body?
Yes, I love that brand that you mentioned, Siete, because they don't use any bad oils either. Love that brand. At least at this point, they aren't. So that's great. Yeah, so that's what we need to do is read the labels, check into it. And in my program, that's what I do for ladies. I read the labels for them. I
Nice.
tell them to have these brands, don't have these ones, and then it's just simple for them. But when we're doing it on your own, you need to read the labels, check on what's in that and making sure that it doesn't contain the inflammatory foods. Because I don't know, if you've tried to go off sugar, you maybe have realized this that sugar is in almost everything.
Everything.
So,
Everything.
right?
Yes.
Because if it's a preservative and also because it's highly addictive. The manufacturer of the product wants you to keep coming back for more. So if you're addicted to it, you're going to keep coming back for more. And I always like to encourage my members to slay the sugar dragon. We can slay the sugar dragon by, cutting off that processed sugar and replacing it with other sweet things that are gonna take the place without having the harmful effects.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Okay, so there's a lot of functional nutritionists out there now. I feel like it's the next industry, like life coaching started off where like there was nobody even knew what life coaching was. And now it seems like almost everyone is a life coach. And there's obviously differences in who and what makes a great life coaching program and a great life coach. And I'm sure that's also the same for functional nutrition and also even physical, side of things. So, what makes you different? What is it that you bring that is different from all the other programs out there?
Oh, I love this question. Thank you. Well, for Whole Boy Nutrition, my company, my business, what we do is
Read the name again because I didn't hear. I want to make sure we hear it.
for Whole by Nutrition. That's the
For
name.
whole by nutrition.
It's
Good.
Whole by Nutrition. Whole by Nutrition.
Okay. Whole
Yeah.
by nutrition.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Love it.
So, with Whole by Nutrition, our foundation is nutrition, movement, and mindset. So, it's a triangle: nutrition, movement, and mindset. So, each week I give each member a brand new, fresh new meal plan that they can follow just with whole real food that they buy at the grocery store. So, one thing that sets us apart, we're not into potions and pills and the next liquid gold kind of thing. This is whole real food that you just buy at your grocery store. And then we incorporate healthy movement as well. So, that's part of it as well. But the biggest factor that makes this lasting results is the mindset shift. And I've learned over so many years of coaching women and having programs for weight loss, the mindset is the biggest factor because you can take off weight in a million different ways, but does it stay off? And are you healthy and stronger and better off for it when it's gone? So shifting the mindset is it's the game changer. It really is. It's the one that makes the difference and makes the results last. Because it's my goal to see every woman never yo-yo diet again, to stop the yo-yo cycle. I mean, I did that for so many years, and so many women come to me in that state where they've done every yo-yo diet and literally say to me, "This is my last hope. If this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I've tried everything." And I love that because I say, "Well, good thing it does work. You will never yo-yo diet again." And so that's my goal is to get every woman off of a yo-yo diet and instead have the lasting results. Because what happens when we do the yo-yo dieting and we try all the different things and we might lose the weight, but we're losing the same 20, 30, 50 pounds over and over again and it's coming on and it's coming back on even more. You know what that does to our mental health is awful and to our confidence, right? And so instead shifting the mindset. Yes, losing the weight by eating whole real food, doing the healthy movement, but shifting that mindset so you actually love who you're becoming in the process. And this just becomes who you are. You really don't even think about it anymore. It's just who you are. And your mindset is shifted. And now you actually love yourself and you're choosing this food because you know that you're going to fuel your body. You're giving your body what it needs and because you love yourself, your mindset is in the right place, you show up as a very different person when you have a healthy mindset and when you love the way you feel, the way you look, and you know that you are stepping out in confidence, you're designing the life you love. That I believe is the biggest difference of what we do than what, as far as I know, anybody else does.
I love that, and it's such a critical part.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It won't matter what system you're using, what strategy you have, if that mindset part isn't there and you're not uncovering the reason behind why the weight was there in the first place. Yeah, and that's why I love talking about healing rather than dealing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I have sent ladies from my program to you because I see that, you know, s- I work on mindset, but sometimes that requires a deeper healing. And that's your department.
Yeah, thank you. I love that department, yes. And I don't do the physical part, so oh my goodness. Okay, what is something that you know needs to be shared, addressed that we haven't talked about? Like anything that is the burning desire, Elsa, that you want women to know?
Okay, what I would say is I'm going to get a little emotional here because I know what it's like to be on that side of feeling hopeless and that you're just always going to feel like this. You're always going to hate the way you look. You're not going to have confidence. You're not going to be able to dress like you want to dress. You're not going to walk into rooms feeling amazing. I know what that feels like because I was there. But I also know what it feels like to be on the other side of it and how amazing it is. Like literally, I'm 55. I am in the best shape of my
You
life.
look fabulous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I have way more energy than I did when I was in my 30s. Like I feel amazing. And so I just want to bring hope to everyone listening to this and especially the ladies that you don't have to stay stuck. You really can heal and you really can love the way you look and the way you feel. So I just want to bring hope and encouragement today. I'm an example of that. And I've worked with so many, hundreds and hundreds of ladies that have also done that journey as well. So I just want to bring hope and encouragement to each person that listens to this today.
Amazing. Thank you for that, because it's so true. That hope is such a critical part of healing and knowing that you do not have to be in this space and you have total power, not control, but power to shift it. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. This has been really good. There's, like, things I'm thinking of, Elsa was mentioning as part of her program that she gives you a done for you weekly, right? Weekly meal plan, like, that's amazing because I work with a lot of high performing women, and the last thing that we need to do is look for, "Okay, what am I gonna have for lunch right now? And I have 20 minutes to eat, so let me make a healthy meal that's whole and for it." Like, no, I myself, like, what do I have in my cupboard that I could eat in the quick, 10 minutes I have right now? So to have that meal plan and also the ingredient part. So I just wanna also pinpoint that as well, like, that's amazing that you do that for women, and I don't know if you work with high performing women, but I'm guessing that you do specifically in some
I do.
degree. Okay, good. Because we need that done for you, so
That's the thing, it has to be quick and simple, and it has to work into your lifestyle, because I was saying
yes,
it doesn't fit into that's why I do customized plans. If it doesn't fit into your lifestyle, you're not gonna keep doing it because it's not working for you, so that's why I like it quick, simple, and just works for each individual person so that you're not like you said, who has time? Or I don't know, at least I don't wanna be spending a bunch of time cooking or anything like that, so let's just keep it simple and heal our bodies. And interesting that you would mention high performing women because as high performing women, I know you get this too. Most often, we are the ones with the unbalanced hormones because we push through, right? We're like, we got to do this, we got to just push through, just one more thing, we can do it. And so that can get ourselves into that state of where things are very unbalanced. But thankfully, they come into balance pretty quickly again.
that's right. Yeah, when you're willing to allow that to happen, yes. Okay, beautiful. What a pleasure. This has been amazing, Elsa. Thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate you. I appreciate your wisdom and your time. And if people want to get a hold of you or get in touch with you, how can they do that?
So on Facebook and Instagram, it's Whole by Nutrition. So it's WHOLEBY Nutrition. They can reach out to me there. Or my podcast is called Renewed and Radiant Women. They can also check me out there.
Renewed and Radiant Women. I love that name for your podcast. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you again. Thank you all for tuning in. And if you found value in this, please share this with another woman who is experiencing some hormonal issues or maybe can relate to Elsa's story and who's struggling in her area of pain and is thinking that medication is the only answer. It might not be. There might be other options out there. And this episode could be the very answer to your prayers or somebody else's prayers. So please pass that along. And then I will see you in another episode of Decide to Heal. Thanks so much. See you soon, friend.